here in the up north, let's just say. Out with Julie and the family here. One last little summer getaway for a few days. Come back Thursday. But I still like to do a lot of work and stay in tune with the market and just a few things that have caught my eye here, which is great. Ethereum bouncing over 4,400, which I really, really, really like seeing this. I mean, on 47, well, first 4,400, but then as we know in the last daily candle, it jumped over 4,600. And this candle, we were able to hit 4,630 in the last couple of hours. I don't know how Asia's going to react when they woke up. They were probably like, holy hell. So this is, always a good thing. IOTA's been on a tear here the last 24, 25 hours, getting close to being up almost 10%. Same with Algo's been on a nice little run. um, GRT's been on a good run, back over 10 cents for the first time in a very long time. Um, I've had some data had a decent day, but we've had some pretty good moves. XRP was up and again got rejected at 328 area. But I mean, it's just par for the course. It went up, hit 328 again, or came close at least. Where did it top off at? Let's see where it was at on yesterday's candle. I know it was close. Yeah, it hit 330, but this is normal. Like it looks okay right now. Like even though it could be, it's just you could call it a half baked candle if you want, but that's a hold candle. To me, and every part of the definition, that's a hold candle. It started off on the hot side of town. Nice little flag formed. In the daily, you can see a double bottom here formed. Inverse left shoulder. This very well could be the inverse right shoulder. Inverse head right here. And this should bring us up to $3.60 initially. That's what we're waiting for that short-term move of 360. Get on top of there, and then we can start pushing up towards that $4 and plus area. So, and I'm not looking at this for 800 years from now where it could be up where some people think wherever. I'm looking at this bull cycle, and it can go higher. I just don't know yet because I haven't seen it. But before this bull cycle started, our target was $5.49 with the possibility of 6.39. Now, does that mean that's the end of it? Absolutely not. It just means that's the biggest metric we could do after the 7-year consolidation. From January of 2018 until November of 2024 when it finally broke out of that descending structure. And it had peak. It was down at 38 cents, in mid to late 2024. So going from 38 cents to 5.49, or ultimately 6.39 if it got high enough, or 6.34, whatever the hell it is, 6.30 something. Seemed out of my mind. People thought I was out of my mind. But now that it got there, now people are like, that's all you think it can go to? It's like, that's what the metrics were before it started. So I need to see the setup when it gets there. That's not all I think it can go to, but that's just as of right now. Until we break over that spot, yes, that's my target because that's what it was before we started. And then some are saying, well, Tom, what the hell? Look at all these other ones that you think are about to go 10x, and you're going to tell me XRP is just not even do 1x from here? Yes, but it's already done. I mean, it could do a 1x if it got to 640 or 639, but it's already done at 10x. We're already 10x right now. This started off the bull cycle. This is fantastic for what could come. If this actually breaks out here and breaks up to those 549, just imagine some of the ones that haven't started their cycle yet. We're in good position here. We are in very good position right now in the market. If you are playing more than just crypto and you're also in the mining stocks, you are gonna crush it. You are gonna crush it. It's gonna be. We're just kind of in an equal spot here with altcoins and mining stocks. Mining stocks are the altcoins of gold and silver, and the altcoins of Bitcoin and Ethereum are our friends that we come to love. Now you get some of the junior miners and the mining stocks and the shit meme miners. Same thing in crypto. You get the meme stocks, the meme shitters, the ones that are supposed to take your attention off reality. XRP had a GOAT token, remember? Once upon a time, a lot of people wanted to switch out of what they were doing for this pot. And I'll see what it's at now, but we'll see. Fucking wow. 10 cents. 10 cents. Look at all the people that traded out of this and got the initial rally, and now it just, this is what liquidation looks like when you get liquidated. Now it could very well do what it needs to do, and eventually it should come all. The cool thing is, though, when you look at something like this, the potential is, this is technically when I said I would buy it again, when it was doing something like this, which is ironic. Because this is where you'd want to see it. This is where you could get that back return. Because remember, every great drop, if it's not going to go to die, and I don't think this token's necessarily going to die. Well, if it gets rejected here, it's going to be a problem. I mean, if I don't know if I wouldn't trade this pile of shit, but I also do look for opportunity. So overzealous selling off because they didn't have real liquidity. I mean, this could be an interesting prospect here. Now, if it gets rejected here, this thing's going to Shitsville. If this would be the definition of it actually went to die. If this broke down from here, I mean, you'd see it in the 0, 0, 0. I mean, this is where it would go to die. If this token is really the biggest pile of, like, is it really that big of a pile of shit? It might be. Ooh. Even a short rejection here would be kind of brutal. See what happens there. I'll check on it in 6 months. But yeah, let's see. Silver back over $38. The dollar's barely hanging on to the 98 handle. Oof. Gold's midway through the 3,300 level. But the story here is Ethereum. The story here is Ethereum. 4,643. And guys and gals, I know we've been waiting a long time here, but I'm telling you, alt season, this is gonna melt your nuts off. You're gonna be taking a piss and your dick's gonna be gone if you're a guy. Honestly, it's just gonna happen. I don't really have any insulting remarks for the female part of the audience because, well, I have more respect for you than my male audience. No offense to the men, but that's where we're at right now. Our eyeballs are literally going to disappear. We're going to be like, oh my God, I don't even know how to process this. That's what's going to happen. And sometimes I get, this happened in the first cycle to a level, but in this cycle together, it's going to be so much different. It's going to feel so much different. Joseph, thank you for the $10 donation. Says, hey Tom, not trying to be weird, but your voice is nice as fuck to fall asleep to. No homo. Tea some bubbles. Much love to you, sir. No homo indeed. Love you too, my friend. No, I have a great like radio voice, especially when I'm in the soothing jazz like voice. Tonight I have the calm demeanor. I had a good night tonight. I'm calm. Seen something weird in the sky. Posted on TikTok and in the Telegram. Someone said it's a portal. Someone said UFO, and somebody says I don't know what it is, but that doesn't look right. And I was like, yep, all of the above. Anyhow, but let's see. George Athana, thanks for being in Tom's for 6+ months with the XP predictor. Says I cannot get the metaphor, good or bad, Tom. I really like to have what to pee with and do other things with. Man, I love this audience. And when you didn't think it could get any better, Towley's in. Want to get hot, Mr. Towley? It's the only thing I can ever think of when I see your emote on there. Dan Marginal, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. Oh, it was a great day. Great day. Got the kayak with Michaela, the one going off to Western in about 2 weeks in the honors program. So finally leaving home. So yeah, let's see. Nick Morales says YouTube really doesn't want me here. Oh, probably not. You're somebody who knows the truth. YouTube doesn't like the truth seekers. I mean, we love YouTube. Let's see. But Nick, thanks for being a very trusted mod in here and also a very, very important admin in the Telegram and our technical advisor. He understands the long-term game. That's why he's so valuable. So valuable. It's gonna change. It's gonna change things. This cycle is going to change things. 2021 was irrelevant compared to this one. 21 might as well not even been a cycle. I believe 2021 was the bull trap because it had to build the big W's in most of these, and some of them, like for XRP, it was already rounding down, so it only had to come up so far. As to where you've seen these ones, a lot of them like Algo and IOTA, and just a lot of them that were way up and are way down now by 90%. They were actually forming the top of the W in 21, and XRP was it hit it, but it was already, what's the best way to put it? XRP's big part of the formation happened in 2018. 21 was like the middle part. And then now we're coming back up. It took a while for, these ones to come down. They never actually came all the way down like XRP did. So they're just taking longer. So, I mean, I know what's going to happen. I know it sounds bad, but, and it might not be the easiest road, like we've said, and it hasn't. It's been choppy as all hell. But eventually we're going to get to where we're going. And I see some ask me if I'd buy XRP when. I wouldn't buy XRP at all right now. I don't, that's just me. I thought the time to buy XRP was at 30, 40, 50 cents, not at 3, 4, 5. I've honestly believed that since the beginning. I believe if you're going to buy XRP, what's the compelling case not to look over at XTC at 8.9 cents? Or like, what's the compelling case to still nobody's looking at Vchain? I'm a very big believer in Vchain. H bar, I wouldn't even look at this point in comparison to something like IOTA and Algo. IOTA's barely listed on any exchange. It's a mainframe freaking token, and it's at 21 cents. I said it when it was at 27. I said it when it was at 16. I said it when it was at 9 cents. I said it when it was at 35 cents. I said it when it was at $2, but I wouldn't buy it. Like, if this token goes down, I'm gonna buy a lot of tokens. And like, to me, 40,000 plus tokens was a lot. And it's like, I'm putting my money where my mouth is, but I can only say certain things so many times, and I'm not a financial advisor. And this is for entertainment purposes only, after all. So what I'm telling you is just what I'm doing in my own personal struggle with crypto and or blessings. And you can either learn from the mistakes I am making in the current real time, or come to understand the philosophy that I use that's allowed me to transcend what I do and change the outcome for my family, let's just say. As you guys know, good evening. 11:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, August 12th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of somebody said trust the UFO. I can show you the video I shared in Telegram. Let's see. Okay, so yeah. I'm not exactly sure what that was. It was weird. It was weird. It even looked weird. When I was looking at it through my screen, it's so weird. Look at Ethereum's price. 222 was on there when I was talking about that. That's so weird. Like, it looked like an angel, UFO portal, so many different things at once. It really looked like an angel. Like, to the eye at first, it looked like a portal because it was a big circle. And I have a longer video. It's like 2 minutes or whatever. But it was like a little portal. It looked, I don't know. It was weird. I don't want to get banned by talking about it. Live from Orb Lake, Michigan. It's late night with XRP Future Millionaire. Absolutely. Welcome in, Oliver Marks. Thanks for being in Tom's Arm for 6+ months with the XP Predictor along with the Ricci. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's see. Where's this at? Let's see. Long Snacks, welcome in. Thanks for being in Tom's Arm for over 1 year at the I Told You So Bad. Excellent. Good evening, my friend. Joseph Goudreau, welcome in. Not trying to be weird, Tom, but your voice is nice to. Oh yeah, I seen your donation too with that. Awesome. Bearded Viking says, hello everyone, hope all is well. Sounds like we've attracted possible spend with this historic alt season. Yeah. But we're gonna get to a historical. I'm telling you, this isn't gonna be like 21. This is gonna it's gonna slap us in the face when if and when it finally happens. Nobody knows when, but it certainly seems like Ethereum is starting to get us in the right direction. We'll see. Our next target, we know, 4,863. That's when it really gets like in a big way. If we can get up there and just go, the next target after that, because think about it. We are so close to getting to an all-time high for Ethereum. 4,855. Now, technically the cup and handle was made lower, and the fact that it did it the way it did, we might be able to break right over this because we've been kind of dropping every step too now. Well, not like, oh my god, we've fallen off a cliff, but we actually, that was pretty solid here. It held that force when I hit it for the sixth time in the daily, and we're like, oh my god, it held it that 4,173 or it's like six different times. Or in the 4 hourly. Six different times, and it had gone up, back down. But that 4,170 area would not give away. Look at this. 1, 2, 3. This one didn't even come down close enough, but it still held the range. But that was just a hold candle. I don't count that. So you had 3. 4 was a big one because it was all the way up at 4,348. It dropped all the way down to 4,169. Bounced right back up. Bounced back down. Bounced back up. Came back down again and then shot out. And that's a big, if you're playing this flag, that's where it gets dicey compared to what I put in the beginning. Because we can honestly say, well, Tom, so yeah, but it leads you all in the same area, right? So 4,900. Isn't that crazy? It all starts to lead you in the same spot. It really does. Once you get the technicals down. That's why I thought this was a compelling one too. Vchain, when I'm looking at it over and over. I own Vchain, but I'm looking at it, I'm like, how much more can this possibly build before it breaks out? You've got an inverse. Just look at all this. This is the craziest shit. You've got an inverse left shoulder, inverse head, inverse right shoulder that formed. So inverse head and shoulders. You've got in the 4 hourly a golden cross, which is the 20, crossing the 50, 100, and 200. It back tested it with a W reversal, W Gartley, and with a fucking bull flag formed or falling channel within it on the flag, inside of a golden cross in the 4 hourly, inside of an inverse head and shoulder, inside of a bullish Gartley. It's the fucking craziest thing. It couldn't be more bullish. Like, there's no reason why this isn't going to be up 2.8 cents here in the short term. Like, in the immediate short term. If this falls apart, I would eat my hat. No, I wouldn't, but I would be shocked. I would suspect we're going to see this up here at about 8% higher in the near future. I would be stunned if even in the short term, it came down and created this inverse head and shoulders on the inverse right shoulder. Like, if that's not telling you something awesome, that's crazy. That's a crazy setup. There's no reason this shouldn't be up here at 2.8 and back testing this channel, even though it's not really a channel, but it's a weird setup on this. It's a long pattern and you got to get way up. Like, it's a long pattern. It's the best way. Before we can even start breaking out on this, it is a long, it's a long pattern. You got to get up to 5.5 cents. It's so, Vchain is one of the most undervalued IoT tokens on the board. I would imagine. Not the most, but one of the most in the Internet of Things. That's eventually we're going to see it back up at 22 cents. That'll be a 10x from where we're at right now. So, patience is a virtue. I got nowhere to go. I got all the time in the world to turn that 2,700 into 27,000 when it gets up there, 25,000, whatever the hell it's gonna be when it gets up there, and then beyond. Got all the time in the world. And on the Telegram, some of you will be riding that with all the time in the world as well. So there's a lot of them all the time in the world. We've been talking about Axelar, how it's got like the partnerships with Ripple. And that was one that I thought everybody could have in the 30 cent range. I have 10,000 plus, just like I have the same philosophy with this as I have with XRP. I think this is another one that's really at that level where in time you're going to see this just, it's going to melt your nuts off. There's so many of them like this. And the problem is, it's a good thing, it's a good problem to have. Depending on how far and wide you spread things or how many of the same tokens you believe in, if you do believe in the ones that I do, because I have a very distinct list, Algo, IOTA, XRP, XLM, XRP Healthcare, Axelar, XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR, DGB, but it's not in my buying right now because of all the issues I had, and I'm not going to go over it right now. But I do like it, but it's not part of this particular plan that I keep talking about. It would have been Zill, Vchain, Dent, Band, which are great replacements anyhow. What else am I missing? Hold on, up at the top. XYO, Data. I feel like I'm missing one. I'm missing one. Oh yeah, GRT, Graph. So obviously you can see the strength on the top three are IoT tokens on this list. Graph's the most prominent known. It's a main stake token. It's like a mainframe style token, like IOTA. If you wanna look at it deeper, it's one of the bigger integrational parts. XRP. Let's see. Sorry, I'm rambling on, but honestly, been a long day. Second live. But I'm looking at this. It's like, again, like some of the other ones. Remember we read with Vchain? It's like, eventually, how long is this really going to take to break out? Like, look at this one for XRP. Big flag. Big Gartley formed here, it looks like. Yeah, I mean, I like to call them Gartleys here. I mean, some people are going to be like, oh, that's not a Gartley. Blah, blah, blah. I know you can say that's a blah, 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 blah. Look, you come down to the W, even though it's also an inverse head and shoulders, which is why it looks like this, but I can still say it's a W. So left shoulder, so inverse head and shoulders. You've also got where it came down here, came down even farther here, which we like to see later on because that's bullish pull down so the bulls and the bears are fighting. The bulls think they have control, brings the bears all the way down here and they come make a new high. That's very bullish, especially if it breaks out and re-breaks this. So, but it's also a setup as in an inverse head and shoulders as well. So don't be short-sighted here either, because you can look at it and see it. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, bull flag. You can also see nice W if you want to look at it that way. Even bigger bull flag. So, you got micro and macro levels within the micro sense here. So, I mean, 360 is the short term, but you can see as well as I can see. Probably better because I can't see shit. Well, on my right eye I can kind of see some, but my left eye literally can't see anything. It's all blur. Keratoconus, baby. Born that way. So $4. That's what I keep saying. $4 is. I mean, it's time's ticking. It's almost up. Eventually, I'm gonna come on here and I'm not gonna be able to say it's under $4 anymore. I'm gonna say, hey guys, remember those 10,000 tokens at $3,400? Yeah, they're worth 40,000 now. It's not already nice that I can come on here and people say XRP never moves, Tom. XRP never moves. Oh, sure. That's why the $3,400 we put in for 10,000 tokens that we hold forever is worth, what's it today? Checking in $32,438, but it never moves. I wish I could just put my $3,400 in the bank and in less than 1 year it turns into 32,000. I know. It's amazing how it never moves, but it literally every dollar I had turned into 10. Holy hell. When you think about it, it's crazy, isn't it? It's like $1 turned into 9.8 cents or $9.80 right now. It's pretty, but that's what's going to happen with all of them. It's going to happen with all of them. So like when every dollar you throw into XRP might turn into, $2 or $3 from here in the pretty near future. And some of the other ones, if you throw a dollar in, they can turn into 10, 15, 20. That's what we're talking right now. And for us who bought it at 30, 40, 50 cents for XRP, we're going to be like, oh my God, every step of the way. Because now a 10% move is basically a 1x for us from our initial portfolio because it only needs to move 34 cents. I mean, that's how crazy this gets. But for somebody who just bought it, it's 10%. I keep trying to explain that logic to everybody because there's so many opportunities. Like one day you're going to see there's going to be a lot of these that are up 30 to 50%. Actually, it's going to be up 12%. People are like, oh, what the fuck? XRP's only up 12%. Yeah, but it's 70 fucking cents. And how long were we stuck under 50 cents? 4 fucking years together. So, I mean, when you start to see this, it's like, oh my God, like where we're at now. And it's like, enlightenment is a weird thing because you sit there and you're like, well, if I see it, obviously everybody else knows it, but it's not true. We've just been living this. So now we also know how XRP did what it did, but we also know the ISO and the IoT tokens that haven't done it yet, that are set up in the same similar path, just behind. It's so crazy when what happens next, when the altcoins finally do what they're meant to next, it's gonna change everything. Like I'm gonna come in here and all of a sudden it's gonna be like, hey guys, what am I supposed to say now? Like we're not buying anything. I'm not adding any more money to crypto. God knows I have enough in there from past cycles. And what happens when this 10x's? That's when it really is going to be like it's going to be an all realizing moment for everybody, I think, who's been here since 21, who's already had the 10x happen. And then now we have that capital so much more than we had in 21. And now it's like, uh-oh. Because we already know what's happening. If you were here since 21, this is the one that changes everything. We all know this. That I've been prophesizing this since 2021 before it even started, when I had nobody watching. And now I'm just glad that we have so many people. It's honoring. I'm honored. This was supposed to be for historical data, so when it happened, people wouldn't be like, oh, why the fuck didn't you tell us, you scumbag? And then I can be like, in fact, I did. I've been doing it since March 24th of 2021, and I've literally never missed a day, and I'm about to do my 6,000th video. I can prove it. I can prove it all right. Videos, 5,900 videos. That's an insane amount of videos. Some people say I'm like a machine-like actions. But this is, we're going to lead each other to the promised land. This is going to be for real abundance. It's midnight. I love these later streams. I can't believe there's 134 people here right now. It's honestly honoring. I'm honored. The farther we go through this, I'm going to be older. I'm 4 years older now. Every single year I get a little bit older. At least I'm getting in better shape every single year. Well, the best shape of my life now. Not even close. But even mentally, I feel the best I ever have. Mentally, physically. I feel like I'm able to lead the community in a proper way. But isn't it sometimes you watch Ethereum like right now and you like some of you have been through these cycles and you know what's happening? Some people are sitting here saying, oh, this is bullshit. My alts aren't moving. It's like, guys, it went to Bitcoin and then it went to Ethereum. And then we talked about the Bitcoin dominance breaking down first to 56%. Look what's happened. Well, first it had to break down to here. Remember when we talked about the bear flag that was forming? But I had to get down to 61. And then it gets down to 57. And you see what happens from here. That was a rising channel it was in. That's the overall pattern's a bearish pennant and its all-time pattern. I don't know if anybody knows what a bearish pennant is, but that is not a bullish continuation. That is a bearish continuation, and eventually, and we said if it broke down here somewhere around 2028 March, which I don't think that's when it's going to happen. I think it would probably be somewhere farther out here. Still get you in the same spot, but the apex here gets you to 2032, and then it falls off a cliff. So I'm not saying it's the world's largest Ponzi scheme, but I am saying it's the world's largest Ponzi scheme. You can take that however you want. You've got your clock's ticking. Tick tock, tick tock. Again, it's like, why would you buy Bitcoin at 119,000 when it's got to go to 238,000 to 1x? When you could buy IOTA and it needs to go to 42 cents to 1x, or Algo only needs to go to 54 cents to 1. I mean, in a year, probably 2 years, maybe not even 2 years, maybe not even a year, everybody's going to look back and be like, will you pull up one of those old streams so we can just see what the prices were? Because sometimes I go back to my old streams and I know it sounds stupid. I'll go back and I not to watch. I'll just remind myself of what some of the prices were, where XRP was at, you know, back in the earlier days, like how XRP seemed to be so far back. Now all my most popular videos are the most recent, but that didn't do me any good. I don't want most. I was hoping one would be from a while ago. Oh yeah, 3 years ago. Look at Ethereum. Look at Bitcoin, 42,000. XRP was 76 cents 3 years ago. XLM, 26 cents. Look at Algo, $1.36 in this 3 years ago. 3 XDC was still at 8 point, exactly the same price 3 years ago as it is right now. Isn't that crazy? I remember watching all of these when all this was happening back there, but just seeing, like, when you start to see, I wish IOTA was on there too. But once you start to see some of it, you're like, holy shit, look at the prices. Look at the prices. Yeah, look, I was a slightly chunkier fellow back then too. XRP community. Volume surges. Do I have a chart? Oh yeah, I do have a chart. Look at that. Oh, this must have been on my phone. Does it have, can I see the actual pricing of the market, or am I just showing this? Well, that sucks. I didn't get to see the price of the market. What a waste of time. But anyhow, when you go back and you actually see some of the pricing, it'll put you in it'll put it in perspective. That's all I'm trying to say. It'll put it in perspective. Wow, this is all with my phone. Incredible. But it puts it all in perspective. I think you know what I'm talking about. But so I try to put myself back in that spot when XRP was where it was at, because I have to remind myself, and that's why I tighten the belt. Like, I literally have everything I could have ever dreamed for. My plan with IOTA was 10,000. I have over 40. My plan with Algo was 10,000. I have over 40. So when it does what it needs to do, I already know it. My head's gonna blow up. Zill, I stayed true and have 100 and some, or 200 something thousand. Vchain, I stayed true and have 100 and something thousand. HBAR, I kept 10,000. You know, I stayed true with XYO and kept a quarter of a million. I stayed true with that, and I think there's 200,000. Uh, Graph, the graph. I actually stayed more true than I thought, over 50,000 tokens as it turned out over time. Denton Band, Mira enlightened me with that so much and reminded me of it. And she was great at around 56000 or 0005 or 0006. Whenever she first started talking about it, it's been great. Sean with Band at like 58 or 60 cents when he was talking about it. And now it's come up. Um, but he should be trusted. He's literally put his money where his mouth was with XRP and turned it into a small fortune. He literally turned his money where his mouth was with what the fuck, Turbo. But I'm talking about Turbo when it was like 000, like January of 24, late 23. He's talking about it when it hadn't done anything yet, and it, yeah, I think you all know what happened. So when he said banned, I'm like, I'm open. My ears are open. Gotcha. And you seen the theta sheet where it showed $3.39 3 years ago? That's another great one. Theta's at, let's see, 80 something cents, but it's not in my portfolio right now. Too much stuff. But It's not because I don't want it. I mean, you're talking about just to get back to all-time highs, you're talking about almost a 20x from where it's at. Now, some say Theta's old tech, maybe, in comparison to some others. But I could argue that every single one of them, in a sense, is old tech once something newer comes out. But I guess you could still innovate. But there's a lot of stuff going on right now, and I think it's a very scary spot to not be in this market. Like, not even just not to be in, but to have to try to do something today. To try to have to figure it out if you don't know what's going on. And I get asked the question all the time: should I buy XRP here or should I buy it later? I wouldn't buy it at all where it's at. I see so many different opportunities. I think XRP is a distraction in this phase. Think about it. XRP's already done the front part of the move. And even if you buy in here, if you're looking for a 10x, it's got to get to $33. Do you think it's more likely? Just ask yourself: is it more likely for XRP to get to $33 or IO to get to $2? Or Algo to get to almost $3? Is it more likely for XRP to be at $33 or XDC at 89 cents? I'm just asking honest questions. Is it more likely that XRP gets to $33 or ZIL gets back up to 11 cents or 12 cents or Vchain gets back up to 25 cents? It's an honest to God question. It really is. And I'm not trying to be like, oh my God, XRP sucks, because that's not the case at all. It's literally going to make me a millionaire, not just because of the token held, because of what it's done in past cycles, allowed me to branch it out into all the tokens you see in front of you, all the precious metals that I've acquired, all the mining stocks that were able to be put in because of the spiraling what XRP allowed. And then I'm always going to stay true to it because I'm going to keep that 10,000 plus just sitting there with the XRP healthcare in the wallet. Oh yeah, XRP Healthcare, there's 102,000. Axlar, there's 10,000. So we're cooking. Even got the XLM. I just kind of went with everything that I know. I all hands on deck. I had a tough choice, so I was either going to do XLM or put the XLM money into Theta, and I just stayed true with my plan. Got to just keep the 3X's. So I decided to stay true to what I've always known. Even in tough decisions. Even in tough decisions. What else do I want to talk about? It's been 37 minutes. Let's go through some of the comments. Let's see. Garbanzo, welcome in, and thanks for being in time zone for your second month with the Dusty Hours Crypto News. I appreciate that. Daytona, good evening, or good early AM, and thanks for being in time zone for over 3 months with the XP Meteor. Good morning, Mr. Tally Amanda, welcome in, and thanks for being in time zone for 6+ months with the XP Predictor. Shawnee says, isn't it so strange how all these higher ups aren't allowed to talk about XRP? I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of see everything. I don't know. Everything's kind of weird in this space. But I don't know. I'm just going to keep saying it. I don't know. I don't want to say anything that gets me in trouble. King, welcome in. Set apart spirit, welcome. Elijah, good early AM. Papa Wheeling, Crazy Pole, thanks for being in Town Zone for over 6+ months with the XP Predictor. Big Dog, welcome in, and thanks for being in Town Zone for over 3 months with the XP Meteor. George Athana said, welcome in and good evening to you, my friend, and being in Town Zone for over 6+ months with the XP Predictor. CJ2 Pilot, welcome in, and thanks for being in Town Zone for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. XRP can literally do $20 to $30. Do I know that's a fact? No, of course not. I don't deny it can hit $20 or $30. That's more realistic. Do I think it's going to happen in this cycle? I would be stunned if it happened in this cycle, honestly. Would I be mad? No, of course not. I'd be very happy. Very, very happy. I have not seen that. Oh, let's see. The Telegram's so important. Let's see. The chart must have been. I'm assuming you posted on your section. Hopefully not micro double top. Well, I mean, we'll see. XYO is on BitUnix. I seen somebody talk about it. I don't know. I'm an idiot. I can't find it. My brain's fried. My brain's fried today. When USA Today is saying to invest $500 in XRP, things have gotten weird. Oh, I know. Oh, I get it. Oh, IOTA's my target for IOTA is higher than $5. Road less traveled. I did the target the same way I did XRP to get to 549. And now I understand XRPs look stupid because or it doesn't seem high enough because it's already gone from 34 cents all the way up to where it's at. But I did this when it was, to be fair, at 34 cents. When I put 549 and 639. So IOTA, if you look at this out in the future, I've already done this. It's just this chart takes forever to update, so I only pull it out for these purposes. But I mean, we got a long ways to go. We got a long ways to go. And this is the short setup, and this is even the right one. This was the, where's the other one? Bitfinex is the better one. This is the one that'll show you in even more detail. This is when I went in depth, where I think it could go long term. So, just playing off the patterns it has, and then eventually filling out a big W, which is also a cup up here. Then having the breakout after a handle's built somewhere in the future, it would get you up to like $10.87. But mind you, this has already been up. IOTA, when it formed that first side, was up at almost $6. So it's been way up there already. And the volume it got in when it did that was unbelievable. Never to be snipped again in the entirety of its career. But this is what accumulation looks like. I think it's gonna go over $5. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but I think it'll get over $5. John Malcolm, in what part of Michigan do I live in? I live in Oakland County, Clawson, but I'm up in Kalkaska right now. Julie's grandma, who passed away, she used to own this place, and somebody bought it, not in her family. And I seen that Julie was talking about it, and I seen they had an Airbnb, and for her birthday, I surprised her. So we came up here with the kids, and the 18-year-old is going away to Western in a couple weeks in the honors program, so she's going to be away for a few years. Well, adult, it's never the same. Once your kids leave and they go to college, they're starting adulthood. So even when they come back, it's never the same after. It's not. It's just a different chapter. So this is almost like saying goodbye, but not goodbye. Welcome to the brighter future for her in the next step of her life, kind of thing. And then it was nice to have to be at Julie's old grandma's house, because it's ironic because we bought Julie's actual grandma's house. This is her where they went up to, and this was like the what do you call it? I don't know, lake. I don't fucking know. Cabin. I can't remember what to call it, but my brain's fried, like I said today. But we bought it after she sold it to her daughter, and then to her daughter sold it to her daughter, which is Julie's cousin, and which is who we bought it from. And now this is the first time I've ever been up here, so it's been a trip down memory lane for Julie. I actually caught a nice big bass today, smallmouth, at about 8:30. I was so happy. Off of this little dock. It was cool. Nice one. If I wanted to eat some dinner, it was definitely keeper size. Been a while since I caught a smallmouth. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, I always looking healthier in the weekly. I think before we know it, the weekly's gonna find itself at some point up here, and then I think we might contract a little bit. I don't know. I could see a 32 to 26 possibly if it wants to create something, but it doesn't always have to stop like that. Eventually, it's just gonna round itself out, and we're gonna find ourselves just in a very awesome spot. But I like to reminisce on some of those ones and show what XRP's done, because all of these that I talk about, for the most part, are the ones that are in the longer consolidations. Like H bar is an unknown, not about how far it's going to go, but it's just an unknown with what happens after it gets to $1.12. I don't know how high it can go. That's the thing. H bar can go extra, and look how H bar's volume, unlike the rest of crypto for the most part. See how it's continuously it started to go up here. Look at all this volume. So I know it can get to $1.12. We knew it from when it was back here at 9 cents and 5 cents and 4 cents when we were buying on FOMO Friday and winning Wednesdays in 23 after I broke my bones in my hands and my orbital, the whole fucking thing. But we made a whole big thing out of it. Yeah. So now we're about to reap the rewards of all. I mean, we've already reaped rewards. That's the thing. Like, we've already reaped a lot of rewards, but we haven't reaped the actual rewards. We really haven't. Everything up until now has been gravy. It's been to build us into the position we're at to make that ultimate push. I don't know what Pyth is. I don't have the I don't have the capacity any. I'm kind of like the person who's filled up their brain and anything else can overload it. So like I don't have the capacity to learn anything new anymore. I have what I have. I don't know what Pyth is. Honestly. Let's see. Greetings from Thailand. I wish I could say that name. I'll just say Nuna Nuni. Almost take profit season instead of compound everything season. Haha. I don't hate that. Don't hate that. But yeah, I'm gonna end this. I gotta make sure everything's good. My son was about to fall asleep. I know Julie was really sore, so she was upstairs. Um, my mom was about to fall asleep because she's here with us on this vacation, which is a blessing as well. So I gotta make sure everything's going good. But with Ethereum and Bitcoin, real quick, Bitcoin. I mean, we're bouncing out. We've broken out. And as long as we don't break back down below that 115.7, in theory, we want to keep that 117.7. And we should be pushing up to 126. And that doesn't mean dominance isn't going to fall. Dominance is also going to, you know. Haha, we live. Thought it was a reply. Sweet. 6 a.m. and saw. Wow. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate everybody who tuned into this. I really do. I really, really do. Man, Ethereum is just on its way up to that 4,863 area, it looks like. These are all the targets I had before this push even happened. So I haven't had to change anything. We've already had all of this, so we're just going to watch and see how this plays out. We've had all this out here, so it's just a matter of when does it play out. There's so many targets. And we actually redid the target because I think it was a little off. Because it was at like 7,000, but it's higher than that. Because I'm like, it should be higher the more I looked at it. And it ultimately gets you to like 7,800, which would be freaking awesome. Not because I own Ethereum, because I own 0 IOTAs of it. But it's going to send IOTA and so many others way up, like XLM, XDC. XDC, I know we showed it for a brief second, but XDC, I don't know, we talked about it because it's in the 3 years ago, XDC was at the exact same price 3 years ago. So if you go back 3 years ago, what do you think XDC was doing? It was building the left shoulder, the inverse left shoulder 3 years ago. Ended up breaking way up here and then came back down to create the inverse head, which took several years. Came down to the inverse right shoulder, which puts us at the exact same price as it was 3 years ago. It's so fucking nuts. Won't be able to say this for much longer. Eventually, when this breaks out, we're going to see 30-cent plus IOTA. I think we're going to see well over $1 at some point, but we have to take the steps. We're taking the steps. Taking the steps. Don't want to go too fast. Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. No, of course we don't want to do that. Of course not. And we're not going to. But ultimately, if it built out a cup that you can't see yet, and it did this, then all of a sudden you're at 36, and then from one fair swoop from 36 to 72 for a 1x, but you bought it at 8.9 if you bought it here. I'm just, just talking to myself. Be blessed, everybody, and have a good night. I will see you in the morning. Definitely need to turn the screen off. You know how it goes after a while. Be blessed.